I wanted to talk a little bit about how you've probably felt over the last few days, because I get it, because I think I have been you and have felt that way. And it's kind of like you feel like alive again. Would you say that that's accurate? Like you feel like just this burst of energy, and it's like you feel like you've been hearing things that really resonate. It resonates with you. And what our goal is, so what happens is we want to hold that, we want to sustain that as long as we can, and then make that our natural way of being, so that this is the way that we respond to things. So I'll give you so one of the things I say is that the breakthrough, so who had a breakthrough this week, these last few days? Like who had a breakthrough or a shift? You can put it in the chat if you did. Anne did, Lisa did. Beautiful. That is now the beginning. So what happens is that is now the beginning, and the breakthrough is the beginning, because what we want is whatever that breakthrough is to become your new unconscious programming. So remember in day one, we talked about how we are running on a programming. We are on an autopilot. And what we want is that your new level is your new autopilot. That is your new programming. But that is the work. The work is to sustain that. Now, here's what I want to change in the world. One of the things that I really want to change is the way that we feel we have to change. The way that we feel change comes about. I think that we have a programming that change comes after you have suffered, or it has to be hard before it can be easy. Like there's got to be struggle. I think we have these ideas that you've got to hit rock bottom, because then we have that hero's journey, and then we can actually feel like we've earned it, right? Like, because then I can tell you guys, I was living on the street and now I'm living here, and I can feel worthy of it because I suffered. I want to change that. I feel like that was the way that it was for a time, but I don't know that we need that anymore. And what if we could change from ease, joy, and fun? What if we could create from, you know what? I've done this, but now I want to do this. Because here's the problem that I see when we create from struggle, when we create an environment, when we create our world in such a way that we have no choice but to level up. When we create from that way, then we've created a paradigm, a programming that's the way our success comes. It must come by me, first of all, suffering. I can have this vacation because I've burnt myself out. I can have it because I've suffered. So if people see me on social media enjoying myself, I will be sure to get into the comments and let them know that I was probably in the hospital before that. So just so you know, I can feel good about having this, and you can feel good about me having it because I didn't come easy, because I suffered my way here. So this is not the dominant feeling out there. In order, if this is what resonates with you, this is what we do. Now, in order for you to do this, you've got to create an environment and conditions that allow you to have this as your new normal. As your new normal. And that's what your environment does. So I've talked about this before, where is if you are planting a seed, nature's law, universal laws are all the same. So if you're planting a seed, and that is the seed of your goal, of how you want to show up, what you want to create. And let's say it's a carrot, you would be pulling out weeds so that it would not interrupt the process. And it would not gather in the roots there, right? So you would pull out the weeds. You would also tend to the environment. Now, what does that mean, that you would tend to the environment? You would water it. you know that if you were going to go and dig it up, you would actually interrupt its growth. So what happens when we do not have an environment that supports us, not our faults, because of our programming, we are interrupting our growth. How do we interrupt our growth? Doubt. Doubt is the devil. We interrupt it by saying, well, I don't know. And so is telling me that I'm too young for this, I'm too old for this, or this is not my time, or I don't know, because you're starting to shift your thinking, but your physical environment may be the same. It hasn't caught up yet. So we need to be around people that are thinking at that level. And it's like and this is where you come in. You've got to create the environment. So if you make a decision to live at a higher level, there's going to be resistance. There is going to be resistance because a part of you will have to die. It really truly is like a death to the ego. You don't feel bad for one moment that this is hard. If there's a hard part, this is it. It's because because the old paradigm of, but that's not who you are. Really? You're going to do that now? How are you going to do it? What will people think? That is like a gravitational pull. Like, I don't know how people could do this on their own. So you've got to create a situation that will help you thrive. In fact, right now, you have a mental model that matches your current reality. It just does. It just does. And if not, your life would be different. You know what I love? I love that, who just joined the call? Queenie just joined the call. Queenie became a client yesterday, and she was able to make the 6 a.m. call today. So Queenie, in the chat, I would love for you to share how you felt moving into the client seat. Because this is your first day. I have not had a conversation with you. Today was your first morning. So I'm just curious for you, how did that feel within you? So what happens is most of us live in a reactive way, and we're in a reactive state. Yes, so Queenie says it's amazing. So I just want to read some of the comments. Joy says, it's so true. When I was growing up, rich people were only allowed money if they suffered terribly. I know, in their life. That's the environment I grew up in. So do you understand, Joyce, that if you choose something different, you're breaking a generational paradigm. Like this is legacy work. Legacy work is that we don't pass on our trauma. Legacy work is that we don't weaponize money the way that maybe it was weaponized or used as manipulation when we were growing up. And it's never too late to do that work.